Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1 and welcome to Boots on the Ground. If you have anything you could add to the community, please send it to southernprepper1@yahoo.com. southernprepper1@yahoo.com. Let's get right into it. So many people think they're preparing for a specific SHT event that may very well happen sometime in the future. But in my humble opinion, SHT has already hit the fan. We are in the middle of it. It's going on every day. The governor of California has a wife called Jennifer Newsom, and they have a value of between 18 and 22 million dollars. The wife has some documentaries that she has put out, and she actually earns roughly 1.4 million dollars charging public schools around the country to screen her documentaries. I have not watched them, but I'm very eager to see what they said. But knowing their politics would not surprise me. But she's actually getting paid $1.4 million to help indoctrinate children. Just want to provide the most recent update on the fire at the Carus LLC in Illinois, CARUS. And it's supposed to impact the availability of chemicals that are used to treat water and wastewater. Residents have also expressed concern about the cause of the fire and what can be done to avoid a similar incident in the future. The state fire marshal conducted a preliminary investigation and could not determine the cause of the fire. They did say there was no evidence of suspicious activity. These chemicals are very, very important for clean drinking water and disposing of water in the waste treatment system. So please make sure you have a backup. If you're on city water of any sort, get a primary, get a secondary, store water. It is the number one priority other than oxygen to breathe, water. This person said I was laid off on January 9th. I'm still looking for a job. I will say this though, I have plenty of food because I prepped. I only have to buy meat, eggs, coffee, and bread. And this is why we prep. If you saw the U.S. non-farm payroll rose by 517,000 last month, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The monthly figure was really much higher than the market thought it was going to be, and they estimated it was going to only be 193,000. I don't know where they got this number from. No idea. But 517,000 new people hired. I'm a utility worker in Kansas City, Missouri. Copper telephone cables are becoming more frequently cut and stolen from the utility poles. They're even being cut inside the enclosed area. Even the fiber optics cables are being cut as well. If this trend continues, there are going to be more phone outages. And it only takes one big enough cable to feed a cell tower to take down the cell network. With the price of copper as high as it is, I believe this is only going to get worse. Be prepared for possible cellular networks to go down in your big cities. So basically, get another means to communicate with family and friends. This is an email that was sent to me, and it's a couple weeks old. I've been a longtime fan and watcher of your channel for years. I work as a full-time firefighter/paramedic and run a business that supplies equipment for everything from medical products to freeze-dried food. In regards to being a firefighter/paramedic, I can speak as far nationally and locally that shortages in personnel is profound. Many of my colleagues work 80-plus hours a week alone. Most of the healthcare system in the area are collapsing due to personnel shortages. Most major hospitals don't necessarily have a bed shortage, but they have a lack of staff to attend to those beds. A lot of consensus with my fellow employees that they're about ready to quit because they're overworked. There's no end in sight. Then he says, regarding my business, we have seen many shortages come and go. Right now we're struggling with sources of tactical equipment because Europe, I guess, is getting all of them, buying them all, and sending them to Ukraine. The other shortage we run into is freeze-dried food. It's more of a delay per se. We have a continual order being placed. We just don't know what's going to be sent to us, and it can be 5 to 6 days delayed. In regards to medical equipment, for the most part, there's no delay or shortages. However, most of the material is manufactured in China. So we're doing our best to start stockpiling if there's some downturn in the economy or global instability in China. Keep up the excellent work. And he's in the panhandle of West Virginia. Then he sent me an update. I want to give an update on my last email. The shortage has finally hit our freeze-dried food products for most of the freeze-dried food vendors. If the product contains eggs, it is now out of stock with an unknown replenishment date. We still have some items in stock, but we are running low. Medical supplies are still readily available. However, more and more of our PPE, personal protective equipment, that comes from overseas is starting to become unavailable. Thank you for your updates. Our family doesn't miss a single day. You are shedding lights on what is coming in our world. For some reason, it reminds me of the encouraging fireside chat from the Depression era and radio news in Europe during World War II, where entire families would sit in the evening listening for news on what is coming. I just thought people might want to know that as of February 1st, there is a hiring freeze through the end of February at the farm store Rural King. I suggest this is a sign of the times. On a positive note, it looks like they are preparing to get in a lot of chicks. If you need chicks, keep your eye out for them. The Arkansas National Guard will deploy about 500 guardsmen this week and begin a one-year mission that will eventually take them to Southwest Asia. The Guard announced 450 soldiers from Arkansas, and it looks like about 50 soldiers from the Missouri National Guard will be leaving. After completing a mobilization training, the unit will be stationed in Southwest Asia for roughly 9 months as part of Operation Spartan Shield, a joint mission under the U.S. Central Command and part of Operation Enduring Freedom. According to the media release, our Operation Spartan Shield mission is to build partner capability in the Middle East to promote regional self-reliance and increase security among partner nations. During their 9 months in Asia, they will serve as a security force, providing convoy and base security for the United States military units and allies. This person said, I found this on Newsbreak. Biden slaps a 20-year mining ban on Minnesota land. I have not verified that, so if anyone can have some very specific information on that, it'd be very interesting. Just more hampering of industry, and definitely mining is needed to keep our economy floating. This is from Southeast Michigan. While looking online for a better protein bar, I discovered some bars that have an ingredient called, it's spelled ACHETA. ACHETA. Or it could be also under ACHETA flour. I looked it up to learn that this is actually crickets. In the EU and UK, including Canada, they're not required to list bugs as an ingredient. Even if you don't mind eating ground up bugs, these bugs could harbor many parasites and can also trigger a reaction in someone who's allergic to shellfish. I urge everyone to read the food label, not just for GMO or bioengineered ingredients, but for bugs. Tons of reports of no cat food, picture after picture after picture of cat food missing from grocery stores or from Walmart. A lot of the ones they're showing me are pictures of the dry cat food. So please stock up on your pet foods for your animals. I live near Southwest Washington, and they have a very disturbing experience with some Safeway meat today. The store has 97% lean ground beef on sale for $2.97 a pound. I bought enough to process a load in my pressure canner. I have browned the meat and was almost ready to fill the jars when I saw something white in the meat. I pulled it out with a fork. Then I saw something else in the meat. On closer examination, I saw that the meat had these long, white, stringy things in various widths. I've never seen anything like this in my life. The thing sort of branched out and seemed attached to pieces of the meat. I'm really not sure what they were. It was a horrifying experience. I wanted to tell people this, so if they just buy the 1 pound packages and freeze them, that they'll know there might be something wrong with them. Switzerland is running out of numerous medicines that are frequently used, like aspirin, cough medicine, I think EpiPens, antibiotics, amoxicillin. So Switzerland is definitely seeing the shortages of medicine, just like we are in the United States. This is from Idaho and Ada County, ADA. There was last week 28 eviction cases. This week, coming up, there's going to be 32. Multiply these numbers across the nation and we see big trouble. People do not have money to pay their bills. I wanted to treat my autistic adult son with dinner, so we went through the drive-thru at PDQ Chicken. We have many times gone through this, and usually we spend $25, depending on what we get. The last time we were there was 2 weeks ago. So they went last night and got a chicken sandwich meal for myself with a root beer. He got a 5-piece strip meal, and I got him a vanilla shake, and we each got a cookie. Imagine my shock when she said $31. Excuse me, wait, what? Yes, she said the price of chicken has gone up, so they had to charge more. That's ridiculous for two people to eat at a fast food place, no less. We have been trying not to eat out as much, but he likes to eat out, so we will just go there, but not as frequent, she said. I just got back from a week in the Bahamas. Lucky you. Eggs there were just under $11 for a box of 12. My eggs in UK are still $2 for 12. I think that's like $2.50 if my math is right, if I remember what a pound to a US dollar is. The Marine Corps has reacted a historical base on the island of Guam as part of an ongoing reshuffling and reorganization of troops in the Pacific. It looks like there'll be 5,000 Marines stationed here at this base, and the base is still being built. The Marine Corps noted in a press release that it is partially funded by a large monetary contribution from the government of Japan. They're going to contribute $2.86 million to the project. I think the project is going to cost about $8 billion. So they are paying a little bit, but Japan, the Philippines, everyone wants us in their area just to counter the threat from China. Florida orange growers are put out their projections, and they only produced 18 million boxes of orange juice, that will be used to make concentrate. So these are 18 million boxes. Each box weighs 90 pounds, and these are juicing oranges. So expect a large increase in OJ at the store. So if you buy concentrated orange juice and you can freeze it, you might want to put some back immediately, just to weather a little bit of a price increase that you're going to see. This is news from the Netherlands. They said the last 1 to 2 months, fuel has slowly started becoming more expensive. It is currently converted to US dollars, $7.42 for a gallon. It is slowly crawling back up. So I think it went down a little bit. Now it's going back up. They also said the prices of things at the grocery store. Beans, he gave examples of beans going up in price. He says officially, I guess the government has inflation in December at 9.6, in January was 7.6, but in reality, it looks like it's much higher. It's sort of like our government and their funny numbers with inflation. This person said we're in Texas, and we have gone through an ice storm before, but I guess this one, they're going through it right now. They saw their neighbors were all running to the store to get supplies. We were well prepared. We stayed home out of the crowd. We double-checked our supplies, of course, but it's great to know we will be fine. That is why we prep. This is about the Javelin anti-tank missiles that are made. There's 250 microprocessors in each one, the Defense Department says. Many of these are sourced outside the U.S., so they come from Taiwan or they come from other Asian nations. But the problem is we don't produce any in-house. So we are probably, they say, 10 years behind. Definitely 10 years to build up our manufacturing capabilities so we could take care of ourselves and not have to rely on the world. They are saying that Russia, because of the 2014 severe economic sanctions were placed on them, have built up a system where they can arm themselves with just the manufacturers that are in-house. I have a question in regards to peanut butter, Jif peanut butter. There was a recall, and I lost 8 jars, 40-ounce jars. The company said they would reimburse people for 5 jars, so we used 2 different addresses so we can get our coupons for our 8 jars. But they have not received any coupons in the mail or, any communication. So they're wondering, has any other listeners applied to get reimbursed for their Jif, and if they've been reimbursed yet? I live in a western Pennsylvania area, and today, it was a Friday, I drove by a very large auto auction site and noticed dozens of gray Amazon delivery vans in the lot going through the sale. Never witnessed this before. I cannot believe all these vans, and they look brand new, and they're being sold. This is not a good sign for Amazon. The list goes on and on, but what I want you to do, we weathered the storm of the weather balloon going across. I am personally working on an evaluation. If that weather balloon yesterday or the day before was carrying an EMP and went off, I am preparing a video to show you how I rate. I don't care what everyone else rates. I don't care. I care how would I do if that balloon caused the balloon to go up and an EMP went off. So I'm going to be sharing that probably tomorrow with you. As evaluating myself, I'm going to be much harder on me than if someone came onto my property and said, man, dude, you're good. You don't have anything to worry about. I know my strengths. I know my deficiencies. And I know we're going to put it 2 days ago, what I had on my property, how would I do? So I'm going to show you how I graded myself, what areas I need to improve, what areas I was good. And this is to motivate you. Don't compare yourself with any other prepper, because if you go through an SHT event, you're going to go through that event with whatever you have, whatever team you've made, and whatever training you have. So keep prepping. A lot of bad news out there, but you know what? There's a lot of good news out there too. Just look for the good news. If you can't find good news, make some good news. Thanks for watching.